So in the last video, we looked at the stop practice, the short mindfulness practice for developing skills in coming into contact with the present moment, diffusing from difficult thoughts, accepting challenging emotions, and then proceeding with value-based actions. All the core skills from ACT, acceptance and commitment therapy. So in this video, we're going to talk a little bit about some specific examples of how you might use this with a mental health challenge and other mind states. So we'll look at some positive mind states as well and how you use this to enhance those. First of all, thinking about anxiety-based challenges. So we'll just use the broad bucket of anxiety, but really this could be more physical based anxiety, pushing towards panic attacks, etc., or it could be more worry based cognitive anxiety or obsessional thinking in OCD. Any of the anxiety disorders, really ACT and the skills from mindfulness are transdiagnostic, so they can be applied across different mental health challenges. And so thinking about anxiety, we'll take the example of someone who's experiencing maybe a combination of those. So often these anxiety disorders don't come in neat little boxes. There can be a lot of overlap. So we might have worries and concerns about generalized anxiety content, about our life, money, people we care about, job, all that kind of stuff. We might have some obsessions about, things like health or moral responsibility and OCD and all the different OCD content. And then we might have some strong somatic anxiety and panic. So there can be all of that going on, and then it would be hard to parse out exactly which disorder it is. For the purpose of this one, we'll think about anxiety that might have some cognitive components and also body-based anxiety. So I've had anxiety, I've experienced a lot of different types of anxiety, and you can wake early in the morning and have anxiety all day long. Think about something like that. You wake up and let's say you have that gnawing, anxious feeling in the pit of your stomach. You may or may not have other things going on, tightness in your breathing and constriction and tension in your jaw. And whatever the different somatic things are that are going on, you wake with that very intensely, and there might not be so much thought. You might be just feeling that. At that point, you could start with stop right away. So the slowing down is just pausing, coming into your body. Then you take a breath with that. So if the breathing is helpful, you can breathe and almost breathe into those feelings to make space for them. If breath actually makes the anxiety more intense and it catches your chest and that constriction more, then you might be better to feel the contact with the bed or to look at your environment and focus. And then you observe what's going on. So you notice and name those sensations, that emotion. So you scan through the body with curiosity, with this open attention if you can, and we practice and develop that, and notice what's going on and name it. So you describe in your mind those different sensations that are challenging. Tension in the jaw, the throat, the constriction in the breathing, the knot in the stomach, the heart rate, the sense of fear and prickling in the back of your neck, and there could be more and more sensations. So we try and get a clear picture of all those different sensations and then label it anxiety. So I notice I am feeling anxious, or I am having the feeling of anxiety, or just anxiety. So you notice and name all of the sensations and the general feeling that's going on there. And any secondary emotions, there might be anger at feeling anxious, or sadness, or there might be some other things going on there. And then also the thoughts. So it might be that there are thoughts about things we're worried or concerned about, but also, as we said, it might be more somatic, feeling-based anxiety, and there might be a sense that there are subtle thoughts, so subtle images, subtle words that you could guess but you can't hear clearly, or it might feel that there aren't any thoughts and it's just that sense of body feeling anxious. So whatever's going on, we notice and name it. And so we're doing this acceptance and diffusion, and then we proceed. So we choose something to do with our day. So we get out of bed, feeling all this anxiety, and think, what do we need to do? What will support us in our mental health? Do we need to connect with people? Do we need to go and do our work? Do we have a hobby or something we could do that will pull us out of our self-focus? So it won't get rid of the anxiety, but it will make us less self-focused, which can amplify all of these symptoms. And we bring the anxiety along for the ride. And then, it might be that the anxiety picks up again, and say this time there's more a specific worry. We're worried about something in our life. We're worried about our job, something that happened at work, that this specific worry on our mind that's hooking our attention, and we're getting drawn in to these thoughts that flash up about this worry, and then we're adding to it by engaging, focusing our attention. So we use stop to unhook from this, so to cognitively diffuse from it. So we just keep using it and then getting our attention unhooked and then back onto what we want to do. And it might be that we sometimes have to give a bit of time to problem solve, to seek help about a specific issue. So it's not that we never think about these worries, but if they are taking up all our time, our focus and attention, distracting us from our life, and we're not productively thinking about them in a way that drives behavior and actions, then we want to use stop to unhook from it. And it could be the same with other anxiety thought processes. We can use these tools to unhook from these difficult thoughts and to focus on what we're doing. So really, whether it's thought-based anxiety, more feeling-based, we use this tool. And the key thing is we might need to use it many, many times. So in the example of the severe anxiety, waking up with it and having it all day, we might be using it all day long. Every so often when we notice we're hooked and we're not in our life task focused or engaged with people or engaged in the external world and the environment around us, then we might want to use stop. So on a bad day, it could be every 10-15 minutes you're having to use this, or in 1 hour you might do it even more regularly, and then things ease off and you can have a bit of time when you're in your life and then coming back to it. And in order to have this tool available, we have to practice it, especially in times when we're not so stressed and anxious. And then it's going to become a tool that's available for us. So in lower levels of worry, fear, anxiety, we practice it. Or when we're calm and we're feeling neutral, then we practice it 5 times a day. Get you 5 a day of these short mindfulness practices. That's going to help you. That's going to make it a habit that's there when you need it. It's that sometimes you have to use it continuously, and people sometimes say, well, that sounds exhausting, but the alternative is exhausting. Feeling anxious all day is exhausting. Feeling depressed all day is exhausting. So why not exhaust yourself in a way that helps you recover and get back into your life? And then it's more like physical exercise exhaustion, that is building strength and fitness rather than lying around and resting in a way that's decreasing our strength and fitness.